He is one of the greatest comedians of all time, the man who defined a generation of laughter through films like Bad Boys, Blue Streak, and his groundbreaking sitcom, Martin. Yet, behind the brilliance, the life of Martin Lawrence has been marked by a series of severe and very public physical and mental health crises that nearly cost him his life, not once, but twice. In the mid-1990s, while at the height of his career in Hollywood, Martin Lawrence experienced a terrifying mental breakdown. The incidents included violent outbursts, erratic behavior on the street, and confrontations with law enforcement. This led to a large question being publicly posed by comedian Dave Chappelle: what truly is happening in Hollywood that drives a man that tough like Martin to break down so publicly? The second crisis was purely physical, a desperate attempt to lose weight for a role that resulted in a near-fatal heat stroke in 1999. This event plunged him into a 3-day coma. This is the story of Martin Lawrence's two devastating battles for his survival, one internal and one external, and his incredible resilience in his journey toward recovery. The first wave of crisis struck Martin Lawrence while he was fully immersed in the pressures of Hollywood. In July 1995, he was hospitalized while on the set filming his directing debut, the classic movie A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Reports indicated he had lashed out in a violent rage before being hospitalized at a medical center. At the time, his eyes looked so red, prompting some to speculate he looked high or tired in the film. The crisis intensified the following year. On May 8, 1996, Martin Lawrence was hospitalized again, this time due to a possible mental breakdown. While on the set of his movie Nothing to Lose, he had trouble remembering his lines and began laughing uncontrollably over nothing. The director sent him home. The real alarm came early the next morning. According to his then-wife, Martin did not return home until 5 a.m. and was up again around 8 o'clock or 9 a.m. He began rambling about wanting to go wash his car and drove to the car wash with a loaded gun in his pocket. He ended up in the middle of street traffic, screaming and yelling at the oncoming cars. Witnesses stated he was cursing, waving his hands, and yelling, "Fight the establishment, fight the power, fight, don't give up. I always told everybody they will be coming to see me one day." He had snot mucus smeared all over his face. When the police arrived, he tried to fight them off. The police were forced to, very forcefully, restrain him as he fought and yelled. A witness described him as being like a madman, and he even bit one of the cops. Once restrained, police found the loaded gun in his pocket. He was taken to a health center and later released to a personal physician. Police initially suggested he may have had a seizure because he failed to take a prescribed medication he was on. His publicist, however, released a statement claiming his doctor said Martin was suffering from a case of complete exhaustion and dehydration. The legal trouble continued. On July 29, 1996, he was arrested at the airport for attempting to board a plane to Phoenix while carrying a loaded 9mm Beretta. He told police he thought guns were allowed on interstate flights and ended up receiving 2 years probation and a fine for the incident. Behind the scenes, his personal life was crumbling. He had filed for divorce from his wife, Patricia, who won a restraining order against him. She claimed he threatened to kill her and her family. His ex-wife also revealed that during this period, he had gone off crazy on the set of his show Martin, screaming and cursing, which caused production to stop due to his erratic behavior. He was admitted to the hospital, only to be later found wandering the streets in his pajamas, talking about going to a surprise party for himself at the Hard Rock Cafe. The chaos surrounding Martin Lawrence prompted his ex-wife to reveal critical details about his internal struggles to the court. She stated that he had undergone psychiatric treatment and was taking psychotropic medication. This type of medication could range from tranquilizers to lithium. She further stated that psychiatric testing found impairment in his thought processes, evidence of paranoia, and an irrational perspective. His psychiatrist confirmed that he was suffering from mental conditions that interfere with his day-to-day functioning. The severity of his condition required him to have a full-time living nurse at the time. The public breakdown of such a highly visible and successful artist raised profound questions about the environment in which he worked. Comedian Dave Chappelle later voiced this concern, recounting how tough Martin Lawrence was and then asking a pointed question about Hollywood. What is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough like Martin would be in the street waving a gun screaming they are trying to kill me? Chappelle suggested that the environment itself might be the problem. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy, Chappelle said, calling this idea BS. He posited that the people in Hollywood are strong people, but perhaps the environment is a little sick. Interestingly, when asked about Dave Chappelle's comments, Martin Lawrence disagreed with Dave Chappelle. He felt that speculating about the environment did not put a good look on him. He took ownership of his actions, stating that whatever happened, it was his fault or somebody else's fault, it's just not a good look. He emphasized that he is now a better person because of the things he got into when he was young, knowing not to repeat that kind of behavior. However, Martin Lawrence did admit that he smoked marijuana and was taking the prescription drug Zoloft for manic depression. He claimed that the marijuana was causing his bad behavior, which is why he stopped smoking it. His acknowledgement shed some light on his struggles with his physical and mental health and the complex factors, from prescribed medication to substance use, that contributed to his public mental breakdown. Just 3 years after his very public mental breakdown, Martin Lawrence faced a second, near-fatal crisis, this time solely concerning his physical and mental health. In 1999, he slipped into a 3-day coma from a severe heat stroke. The incident occurred on a Sunday morning around 11:30 a.m. Martin Lawrence was training for a movie role and decided to go for a jog. In an ill-advised attempt to sweat off some pounds, he put on extra layers of heavy clothing. The weather that day was dangerously hot, around $100 circ /text $1. When he didn't return, his girlfriend became concerned and went looking for him. She found him on his doorstep, slumped over, moaning, and having difficulty breathing. She immediately called the paramedics. By the time he arrived at the hospital, his condition was very critical and unstable. His body temperature was alarmingly high, around $107 /circ /text F. Doctors had to work quickly to cool his body down using cold water, ice, and fans. The extreme overheating caused him to slip into a coma. Doctors explained that severe heat stroke can lead to permanent kidney, brain, and cardiac damage. When the body becomes that overheated, muscles begin to break down into proteins that flow through the blood. The kidneys, which clean the blood, can become clogged with these proteins, potentially causing a coma and resulting in death. After 3 terrifying days, Martin Lawrence miraculously woke up from the coma. Crucially, he suffered no permanent brain damage, a testament to his toughness and the quick response of the medical team. The story of his heat stroke served as a harsh lesson on the dangers of pushing the body too far, especially when trying to meet the extreme physical demands of Hollywood roles. Despite his two near-death experiences, one from a mental breakdown and one from a physical and mental health crisis, Martin Lawrence continued to demonstrate incredible strength and resilience. Today, Martin Lawrence stands as a powerful testament to survival, having overcome two major life-threatening crises, a severe public mental breakdown and a near-fatal heat stroke. He is currently doing well, having recently received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and is working on the next Bad Boys movie. Despite recent fan concern over his speech at the Emmys, which was later attributed to teleprompter issues, his recovery is nothing short of miraculous. He woke up from his 3-day coma in 1999 with no permanent brain damage, surviving a body temperature that reached $107. His journey shines a light on the brutal pressure of Hollywood. Dave Chappelle's pointed question, "What is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough like Martin would be in the street waving a gun screaming they are trying to kill me?" remains a critical commentary on an environment where strong people can still become sick. His former psychiatrist confirmed that he was suffering from mental conditions that interfered with his daily functioning. Crucially, Martin Lawrence took responsibility for his past chaotic behavior, acknowledging that he smoked marijuana and was taking the prescription drug Zoloft for manic depression. He recognized that these actions were causing his issues. The legacy of Martin Lawrence is one of profound strength. He emerged from his worst moments, from fighting police with a loaded gun and being found wandering in his pajamas to nearly dying from a physical and mental health crisis while attempting to reduce weight for a role, to become a better person. He stands as an icon who not only provided laughter for the world but also showed the courage required to battle internal demons and achieve long-term recovery. If the recovery story of Martin Lawrence inspires you, and you believe he is the greatest comedian of all time, comment legend below.